Hello everyone, I am here again. I haven't been here for a while, so hi, welcome back. I hope the audio sounds okay, I hope the video looks okay. I am on my floor currently. I'm going to show you my horror DVD collection because I have collected quite a lot over these years and I think it would be a nice easy video to sort of like get myself back into the swing of doing things. So yes, I'm very excited. I really love collecting physical media, especially horror films. Not so much to kind of keep them, because I found out recently that DVDs actually have a shelf life. They don't last, they start degrading after a certain amount of time. So I'm not really necessarily buying them for preservation or accessibility, but because I find them nostalgic. I really like the DVD covers. Sometimes I do buy movies that I cannot find on streaming anywhere. But I think we should get started. This is my DVD shelf. The bottom half of it isn't really horror films. I've sorted them from top half horror films, bottom half more like thrillers or more like kid films like Coraline, or like I have some Studio Ghibli films and some TV shows as well. So I'm going to start with this shelf. First of all, my copy of Eraserhead, one of my favourite films ever made. I love David Lynch films. I especially love this film. I really should make a video on it, and you might hear me say that a lot in this video, so I'm sorry in advance. But yes, I should make a video about this film because I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I have a lot of big brain theory ideas about it. It's a very artsy film. I don't recommend it to people who prefer a more like narrative driven movie. This one is very weird and wacky and artsy. I love it though. By the way, these are in absolutely no order at all. I've kind of sorted them, but I've sorted them by vibes. But that still doesn't really make any sense because they're still kind of mixed up, but I'll explain as we go. Event Horizon, really weird sci-fi film. Went through, like sci-fi horror film, it went through like a development hell. So it's got like some really bizarre editing choices in it. And they had to cut like this great big scene out of it because it was too gory. And just there's like little snippets of it in there. But it's really interesting film. It's a kind of a shame that it never kind of got its thing it never got sort of made the way it was meant to be made, because it's really good. Hellraiser dimension in space, but with Christian themes. That's the best way I could describe it. It's a cool film though.
Where we're going, we won't need eyes to see.
Next up is David Cronenberg's The Fly. This one's got Jeffrey Goldblum in it. One of the best. This movie is a love story. It's not really a horror film. It's about love and getting over one's insecurities and failures, and love always wins, guys. The Fly. Next one. I have not seen this. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. This is what a lot of horror movies kind of have derived from. This is like one of the first ever proper spooky gothic movies. I think there's some that have come before it, but this one has really defined quite a lot of other films after it. This is a German expressionist film, so it's also, this is very arty. It's got a lot of like strong kind of slanty backgrounds in it, and I need to watch it really. A lot of stuff is inspired by it. You'll find a lot of like gothic subculture things are inspired by it. Like I think of Bauhaus when I think of this movie. Next we have Dracula. Oh, I've got a nice DVD for this. I don't know where I got this from. Is it a Blu-ray? Who the fuck knows? It's not a Blu-ray. I Am Dracula. Yeah, I have seen this. This is good. This is very good. I try to watch this once a year around Halloween time because it's got that perfect spooky vibes. Read the book for this recently, the original one. I have read it before, but not in a long time. So I've reread Dracula. Not as good as I remember. the supplemental things that have come after it are just infinitely better.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Oh, this is like total polar opposite. This is really not sorted. This is a movie called Deep Red by Dario Argento. This is a giallo film. This is an Italian horror. This is more along the lines of thriller, mystery. Giallo usually entails like a mystery killer, and it kind of follows like slasher themes. This has a incredible jump scare in it, like one of the most masterfully crafted jump scares I've ever seen in a movie, and it works super well, and it's like a very leads your eye somewhere else, and then a jump scare comes at you from another place, and it's terrifying. I don't really remember what this is about. I think this is literally just mystery killer kills people, and then people find out who the mystery killer is, and it's got some like wacky themes around it, but it's interesting film. I quite like Dario Argento's movies. Oh look, oh god, jump scare. This is Suspiria. This is one of my favourite films ever made. This is Dario Argento film. This movie is about witches, and it's incredibly dreamlike and surreal, and it kind of makes you feel like you're a bit on drugs. It's beautiful. This is one of the movies that I would like jump at the bars of my enclosure to go and see in the cinema. This is That Omen. It's all for you, Damien.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Spooky Satan boy. He is Satan. It's the 70s, I think. I really like 70s films. You'll probably notice a theme. A lot of movies I have are 70s or 80s. Maybe I need to rewatch it, I don't really remember it very well, but The Shining, don't need to talk about The Shining. It's the fucking Shining. Candyman, good. This good film. This also feel underrated. I feel like a lot of people who don't know much about horror probably may have never heard of this film. The original story, The Forbidden, is written by Clive Barker, which is the same writer as Hellbound Heart or Hellraiser. This is about an urban legend, a bit like Bloody Mary, but it's Candyman, and he comes out and he has a hook and he kills you, and it's kind of about the whole belief in how if a community believes in something enough, it becomes real. The main lead actress in this, Virginia Madsen, she's incredible. She's so beautiful, really captures the essence of being hypnotised by Candyman and what he's doing. This is also a love story. Oh.
The entire community starts attributing the daily horrors of their lives to a mythical figure.
Ugh, Wicker Man. But guess what? Wicker Man. I don't know why I have two of these. I think I may have forgot that I had a copy of it and bought another copy of it. Great film. Such good vibes. Fabulous time of year to watch this film. Very spring, summery. Oh, I love it so much. Christopher Lee did this movie for free. That rhymed, because he liked the idea of the movie so much that he was like, I'll do that for free. Kill List. Kill List is an interesting film. This is a more modern film. This is kind of like a mixture between true crime and The Wicker Man. I think it's got a really good mixture of genres in this. Like, you would never ever expect where it's going. I've only seen this once. I saw it in the Prince Charles Cinema at a movie marathon. I was probably half asleep, which didn't help because this movie's like a fucking head trip. I'm going to re-watch that tonight, I think. I'm going to put it there. Look what I have. I've got a beer. It finally started to get warm in the UK, so it's super nice outside. Clown. Oh, see, this is what I mean, I think, by I've sorted them through vibes, because the last few films have all been folk horror films. This is called Blood on Satan's Claw. I haven't watched this either. This is like 70s? 60s? It is... Oh, I didn't know. This apparently says on the back it's set in 17th century England. So yeah, this is like folk horror, devil, satanic panic era film. So this has got that kind of stuff going on. Look how crusty this cover is. Look, it makes it look older than it actually is. But I haven't seen this, so I need to watch it. Oh, Vovovich. This is basically The Shining if it was witches. This is a Robert Eggers film. He also did The Lighthouse. This movie is really cool because it's extremely period accurate. Basically studied like the time where pilgrims were a thing and moving to New England, and they have got extremely period accurate accents. So I recommend watching this movie with subtitles. A feel-good movie for the girlies. Halloween 3. This is the third Halloween film. It's got nothing to do with Michael Myers. The original Halloween movies were meant to be one-off anthology films. So the first Halloween, Michael Myers, done. The second one was meant to be something completely different but based around Halloween time. But people responded to Michael Myers so positively that they decided to just make the second one a Michael Myers sequel. So they tried something different in the third one. They made one, it is part of the Halloween series. It is a completely different film. And it's about a mask making company that make masks, and they're trying to like get their kind of cult influence. They're trying to get like Halloween back to how it was. It's very good. I personally love this film, but I can see why a lot of people don't like it. It can be a bit boring, but it's got some very good Halloween vibes. Continuing with the Satanic Panic folk horror, this is Rosemary's Baby. Really don't want to like this film, but I love this film. It's only because the director's a nonce, but he's dead now, so that's okay. This film is incredible. I love 70s Satanic Panic, the culture around it. I really think it's really interesting how a lot of people were really panicking back then about Satanism and like the downfall of like Christianity and the nuclear family. This, very good. I like it a lot. It has an incredible ending. Hail Satan!
Hail Satan! Hail Satan!
Wow, we finished a whole shelf, guys. Second shelf, lads. So, first one, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Do I need to say more about this? I have a whole fucking Killer Clowns from Outer Space tattoo. One of the best. Love this. Really stupid, dumb 80s B-movie with like a really funny, weird concept. Aliens come to Earth, but they look exactly like Earth clowns. And they have an earthly clown circus tent. And they put people in candy floss bubbles to kill them. It's fabulous. And there's this funny line in it where they're like, why do they look like clowns? And one of them is says, maybe we base clowns off the aliens. Or maybe the aliens based themselves off the clowns. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Fucking brilliant film. Really good. I love it. It's very silly though. Signs. I have a personal vendetta against this film. This film is so funny to me. There's one scene in it which people talk about a lot, which is like this one scene where they capture an alien, and it's very scary. Like there's like literally one scene in it which is scary. The rest of the movie, however, is fucking shit. It's so bad. First of all, I'm going to spoil it, so skip to this time code if you don't want to hear spoilers for Signs. But my biggest gripe with this movie, and I never ever have gripes with this with films, is the way they kill the aliens is with water, right? The water is like acidic to them, like acid. Earth, you know, the place we live, has humidity. Don't the aliens be ouching all the time? They be walking around and be like, ow, it's humid, water, ow. I don't know. It's silly. It's so silly. The acting's pretty funny.
Ah! I'm insane with anger!
Sleepy Hollow. I like this movie. I like Christopher Walken in it. A lot of people like this film, but it's kind of mid. I think it's got good spooky vibes. Good background Halloween film. Next we have Misery. Misery's good. The book's good. I like the Stephen King book a lot, actually. The actress who plays the lady in it could not have been cast better. I don't think any other person could have done a better job. I think she's fabulous. Kathy Bates. Woman in Black. This, I think I've seen this once. Don't know why I bought it on DVD. Cheesy Jump Scares, the movie with Daniel Radcliffe. So, ghosts. It's a ghost film. Wow. The Strangers. I don't like this film. I think this film is very mean-spirited. Like, a lot of 2000s films tend to work... They're in this, like, era where everything felt a bit mean. This has some really good scares in it. Like, some very subtle... Ooh, they're peeping around the corner. Oh, you see him in the background. It's got some good shit like that in it. But, I don't know. The ending, it's just kind of like... I don't really get much out of it other than the masks are cool, I guess. Rec is good. This is the Spanish one. There's two versions of this. This is the original one. This is the original one. But there's the original one and then there's the American remake. This is a found footage movie. This is one of the better found footage films. It's about zombies invading a building and the people who are stuck inside are journalists, so they are recording everything. And it's very good. There's some very interesting kind of takes on the zombies. They're like fast and they're not necessarily the kind of zombies that we're used to in a lot of media. It's very, very good. There's a very good jump scare at the end and it's very crusty. Like, the environments are very crusty. Like, crusty apartment. Love the crusty apartment. The Blob. This is the 80s remake of The Blob. This is really good. I am kind of surprised by this. It's got some very good special effects in it. Like, very good practical special effects in it. I think I need to rewatch this as well because I don't remember very much from it other than there's a blob that eats people. Are you surprised by the fact that that happens? It's called The Blob. Next in the category, The Thing. Fabulous special effects. Every time I watch this film, I notice something different. I watched it in the cinema last year and there was a few different things that I had never picked up on before. This has some of the greatest special effects in a movie ever. I don't think much tops this in terms of creature design, execution, disgustingness. It's very, very, very good. And the story's good and the characters are good. Martin. Oh, I've just noticed this has two covers. It's that cover and that cover. It's a George A. Romero film. So he's the guy that you would know for Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. This is a movie about a vampire. And it's not your traditional vampire movie. It's about a kid, kind of 70s era. It's very hard to tell whether he's actually a vampire or not. I think I'm going to do a whole video about this because there's some really interesting things in it and it's cool. The Mist. Really wish the special effects weren't CGI. It would make it so much better if they weren't CGI. But this movie's very good. It's based off a Stephen King book. I think this is better than the book, personally. The ending is gut-wrenching. It's so gut-wrenching that it made me laugh the first time I watched it because I was so shocked by it. But this is good. They're all stuck in a supermarket and this mist rolls in and this big fucking creature is outside and is going to kill everyone. And it's kind of them trying to survive and navigate around this and the kind of the human dynamic within the supermarket. It follows. Don't love it as much as a lot of other people do. They don't set up enough to make the payoff of the end of the movie good. It's about like a sexually transmitted disease, but that disease is a demon that follows you and you can't get rid of, and this demon's going to follow you forever until it kills you. You can't do anything about it. Only way to get rid of it is to have sex with someone else and just pass it on, basically. So there's some really cool scenes in this where someone will be walking somewhere, the person who's got the sexually transmitted demon. So they'll be walking somewhere and then you'll see someone behind them walking towards them and you're not sure if that's the demon or not because it takes like different shapes of people. It's unique. And the soundtrack's probably the best part. I fucking love the soundtrack. It's so good. Babadook. I dressed as him for Halloween last year. I love the Babadook. Babadook's one of my favourite movies. How one deals with grief. How people manage grief and their depression. And it's a really clever metaphor, visual representation, I should say, really, of that concept. People think the kid in this movie is annoying. I'm not a big fan of children in real life, but it annoys me when people say that the kid is annoying in this film because he's literally going through the most traumatic experiences of his life. Of course he's going to be annoying. Like, give him a break. The Babadook's trying to do this to scare him. Give him a break. Sixth Sense. I have never seen this. This is going to sound insane, okay? This movie is like got one of those shock twist endings, right? It has never ever been spoiled to me. And if it has at one point, I have not clocked that it's for this film. I think I can guess what the ending might be. I'm not going to say anything till I watch it. It's got Bruce Willis in. It's an M. Night Shyamalan film. Oh, we've completed another DVD shelf. I love this cover. This is a movie called Society. It's a Brian Usner film. Crazy! This is a crazy film. This is the kind of movie that I want to like show people real bad, but they're going to think I'm insane if I'm like, I like this movie. They're going to think I'm crazy. I don't know how to, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't explain what it's about. Maybe you can go look up at your own volition. But look at this DVD. Look at this. Look how good this is. This is probably one of my most favourite DVDs I own. Oh no, it's got a little, that's the original poster. This booklet. I want to rewatch this now. I think I did actually talk about this in one of my previous videos. It might be like 5 weird films or something. This is the kind of film I feel like could have only been made at that time and that place. Look, I haven't said anything about it. You can go and look it up. I recommend you go and watch Society. Good Descent. I haven't seen this film either. I should watch it. It's about cave. It's about whole group of gal pals going caving, and I'm sure nothing goes wrong. I've heard good things. It's Hereditary. One of the movies of all time. If you're watching this and you like horror movies, you know what this film is, and you've probably seen it. This is crazy. This is a crazy film. Should probably rewatch it along with Midsommar. Fabulous. Toni Collette. I think she deserves every Oscar for this movie. There's one scene in it in particular where I'm just like, this is not acting, she's just being real right now. It's so good. 28 Days Later. This is a classic zombie film, filmed in UK, in London. It's good, it's a good zombie film. It's one of like the kind of classic, I think it's one of the first zombie movies where the zombies were like fast and like infected, more so than like, oh, I'm a zombie, I'm gonna eat your brain. 28 Weeks Later. Haven't watched this. Right, let's do this in order. Are you ready? Are you excited? Night of the Living Dead. Dawn of the Dead. Day of the Dead. I love these films. I think they're fabulous. I think they're really good to watch as a trilogy, actually. You can watch Night of the Living Dead for free, basically anywhere, because it's copyright free, it's royalty free, because George A. Romero and the other person that helped, they had some issues with who wanted the copyright for it, so I think they just decided to make it copyright free. Very good. Black and white, very good. Love it. Dawn of the Dead is my personal favourite out of the 3. This is the one with the zombies in the shopping centre. I watched the extended cut of this recently. Has one of my most favourite horror men in it ever, Tom Savini. I have a big crush on that man. But he did the special effects and they're not very good in this. But he is in it as a guy, a man. Characters are good. The setting is obviously good. I think a lot of people fantasise about doing exactly what they did in this film, which is be alone in a big shopping centre and steal stuff and try on clothes and eat food. It's quite a cosy film, actually. Day of the Dead's really good. This is set in a bunker. This is kind of as the zombie like apocalypse has progressed a bit more. So this is like an army in a bunker with some scientists who are trying to work out the cure to the zombieism. It's very good. It's got a very cute zombie in it called Bob. We love Bob. What I really like about these films is if you watch them in a trilogy, Night of the Living Dead is kind of like the very, very start of the zombie apocalypse starting to happen. Dawn of the Dead is kind of the zombie apocalypse kind of in its middle state, kind of progressing more. People not really sure how long it's going to last. And Day of the Dead is kind of the higher end of the spectrum, like the zombie apocalypse has been going on for a while. People are set up, people are trying to cure the apocalypse. These movies aren't canonical with each other, they're all set in different times. They're just kind of got similar vibes. Creepshow! Creepshow 2! Love this movie. Love this movie. Love it. This is probably one of my favourite films. George A. Romero film again. I do have a soft spot for Romero films and Stephen King adaptations. I love this. Anthology horror has got such a soft spot in my heart because I used to read Goosebumps, and Goosebumps are like these tiny little books, so I would just consume as much Goosebumps as possible. 5 terrifying tales of horror. So it has 5 different kind of segments in it. But what I really like about this movie is the use of colour. There's a few scenes when like the horror is happening where the colour gets really saturated and there's like a lot of bright light colour. It's fabulous. The second one, not so good. One good and one nick called The Raft. That's quite scary. Like the actual concept of the raft is scary, but the other ones are terrible. I don't even remember what the last one is. I'm going to speed through these because I can't be bothered to talk about them. Friday the 13th, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, the final chapter, and this was the last one they made. Don't care for them that much. Halloween? Really, I should have put Halloween 3 with these. Halloween, Halloween 2. Don't need to say much about these. I don't remember what happens to Halloween 2 at all. I have to admit, a lot of these like original 80s slasher films are not my favourite. I like the original Halloween because it has incredible Halloween vibes. Troll 2, they're eating her, and now they're gonna eat me. Oh my god. This is the Citizen Kane of horror films. Or I have Nightmare on Elm Street and the superior Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Electric Boogaloo. These are good. I really like these. These are the ones out of like the big horror characters. I like Freddy Krug, Leatherface the most because I feel like they have the most personality. I like Freddy Krueger's banter. He's got good banter. Wow, that was another shelf. Good job, guys. Okay, last shelf. First of all, we have a copy of Eraserhead. One of my favourite movies of all time. Love this film. This is a nice version of it. Good. This is a nice copy of this DVD because I think it's a Blu-ray. So it has some really nice, it has a nice book. Has a nice book with lots of nice pictures in it. Oh look, there's David Lynch. There he is. This movie had a lot of turmoil. I'm talking about Eraserhead again. Put it away. Scream. I've only seen this once. Should watch it again. A lot of people really like the new ones. Can't be asked to watch them. I feel like this movie is just kind of its own thing. Matthew Illard. What a fabulous man that is. Scream is better if you have seen a lot of horror films. Luckily I didn't watch this until I had seen a lot of other horror films, so I kind of got the references more in this. I know a few people that have seen this but don't have like a lot of knowledge of other horror films and still like it, which is really cool, but I think you get a lot more out of it once you kind of know a bit more of the tropes. Human Centipede. I always think this is a Xbox game. Human Centipede, the video game. This movie's very funny. It's stupid. I can see why people are grossed out by it, but it's so stupid. I know the other ones are like horrendous. There's a lot of extreme stuff going on in it, so I'll probably never watch it. It's not that enjoyable, really. You kind of just watch it for the gross factor. So if ever the apocalypse happens and all I have is a TV and a DVD player, I can watch Human Centipede. Trick or Treat. It's not the best film, but it's the most Halloweeniest film ever made. It's perfect Halloween watch-ins. It's an anthology horror film again, so there's lots of little different stories in it, and they kind of all culminate into one. They kind of all line up together at the end. Very cute. Sam, icon. You could tell the person who made it loves Halloween. So yeah, there was meant to be a second one of this, but it never got made, which is a bit sad. Evil Dead Uncut Version. I like this film. It's good. It's good. We know about Evil Dead. We know about Groovy. We know about the Chainsaw Man. I like it. I like the second one more. I think that's quite a normal opinion. It is weird to me how the second one is basically the first one. But this is pretty garbage. It's pretty like low budget, so I can see why they wanted to remake it. But it's fun. Bruce Campbell is a joy. I don't know why I have such a scrungly, papery version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Can someone explain what's wrong with my brain? I love this film. Incredible. I really do. I think it's incredible. I think the lore and the culture around this movie makes it so much better. When I was a little wee child, I thought this was like the goriest, worst, most upsetting movie you could ever watch. And I overheard my parents watching it, and I just heard chainsaws. That's all I heard. And I was like, shit's going down. Surprisingly tame, actually. You don't see hardly any blood. Don't see much chainsaw murdering. There's just a lot of screaming. It's just a lot of screaming and a lot of chainsaws. When they were filming the final scene where they're at the dinner table, they were in proper like Texas heat, and the whole of the crew member were so hot filming that they were throwing up. You know, they were really delirious and ill, and you can really tell that they were not having a good time, because the absolute insanity portrayed in that final scene is like so on point. It makes the movie so good. But there's something about this film that has kind of a documentary feel to it. It feels like you're watching something you're not meant to be watching. It feels like very gritty. It feels a bit like a snuff film. I mean, the UK banned this during like the video nasties era, so you weren't allowed to own a copy of this for a long time. So I think it's kind of cool that I have a copy of it now. Shout out to trans icon Bubba. We love Bubba. We love her Leatherface. Thor. Oh, but Thor. I thought this was the most horrendous, goriest, most fucked up movie you could see ever. This is pretty good. Like, I thought Saw got so much shit, right? People thought it was terrible. It was just torture porn. Worst thing ever. I think this movie's really good. It's like a true crime thriller movie more than it is a horror film. It's just got kind of horrifying elements in it. If you have ever been put off from watching it, I recommend watching it. Fright Night. Love Fright Night. This is a movie about a vampire, but what's fun about it is that it's a movie it's made in the 80s, but it's kind of parodying Hammer horror, Dracula, and how that was sort of dying out, and not a lot of people thought it was interesting anymore. So it's kind of like parodying that. It's very funny, actually. There's a lot of good comedy in this as well, so it's quite light-hearted. Recommend this. Rob Zombie, everyone. Everyone's favourite goth dad, Rob Zombie. House of a Thousand Corpses. I'm going to rewatch this because I think I was too much of a hater. I think I would like it now. I just read the pull quote on the front. Says, without a doubt, the craziest film since the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This movie's way crazier than Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Way worse stuff happens in this, way gorier, which is hilarious to think about in hindsight. It's directed by Rob Zombie, the famous man who plays guitar and sings about Dracula's. It kind of feels at times a bit like a music video. It feels like he's filming a music video. I kind of like it. It's got some rizz. It's got some charm. It's basically the plot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, except there's just more stuff happening in it. Like the main guy's a clown. The Exorcist. I don't have much to say about this. It's The Exorcist. It's pretty good. Pretty fucking good. Not my favourite. I see the hype. I understand the hype. I get why people are crazy about this. Let the right one in. This is a vampire film. This is a very different vampire film. It is very good. A lot of these movies I've been showing you have been trash. This is not trash. This is like just a good movie. It's very well directed, written, shot beautifully. It's set in Sweden and it's during winter time, so everything is snow. This is perfect to watch like January time. It sounds silly. It's got such a specific mood to it. It feels very sad, but it's also kind of like cute at the same time. absolutely stunning film. Hellraiser, we're getting to some of my real favourites here. Hellraiser, banging. Absolute banger. Turns out he ain't the scary guy. He's kind of a chill dude, actually. He's like a nice fella. It's Frank you gotta be scared of.
It's Frank. It's Uncle Frank. No. You remember? No. Come to Daddy.
I love Clive Barker's horror writing a lot. It's so creative, and you can tell just by watching this that his writing would be creative. He wrote a whole series of books called Books of Blood, and they're all anthology. They're all short stories, horror short stories. Love this film. Reanimator. This is a Brian Yuzna film. Do you remember him from earlier? He's the guy who directed Society. I love this film so much, in fact, that I have a tattoo of Herbert West from this film. I have Jeffrey Combs on my leg. I think this movie's incredible. I don't know what that says about me as a person. This has, to me, perfect 80s charm, camp, weird. It's based off a H.P. Lovecraft story. The theme song, for whatever reason, is a rip-off of the Psycho theme song. It's like the same. I don't know why they did that. It's fabulous. The acting in it is fabulous.
You couldn't call or write a note.
I was busy pushing bodies around, as you well know, and what would a note say, Dan? Cat dead, details later.
I love Jeffrey Combs so much. Kind of plays like this, he plays this like scientist. He's not evil, but he really wants to be able to reanimate stuff, and he's like this close to doing it right, but he's not quite there. Love it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. We're nearly over, folks. We've nearly finished. We've got 5 left. Child's Play, great film. Love Chucky. I love that I was terrified of him, right, at one point in my life, and now this movie's just hilarious. Like the whole Child's Play kind of slew of films that they did are all really funny. Chucky's a little bitch, but we love him for it. He's got riz. Got so much riz. Basket Case. I think I did a video on Basket Case, so you can go watch that. This movie's crazy. It's about a guy who had a conjoined twin at birth, and then he got the conjoined twin taken off him, and the conjoined twin still lives, but he keeps him in a basket. And this guy is a menace. Total goblin energy. Love him. All he wants to do is eat people's faces and go on a rampage. Love that for him. Slay. I think this movie's so good. It's not good. It's garbage. It was filmed in the 70s on like zero budget. It's literally garbage. It's trash. But I love a bit of trash. I love a bit of crusty trash. So love a Basket Case. Dusk Till Dawn. Does this count as a horror film? I suppose it does. I like this film. I used to watch it a lot. Don't know why. I think I like the mixing of the genres again. Like the first half of this film is just a crime drama, and then the second half is insane vampire drama. Tom Savini's in it again. He plays a very cool man. Lost Boys. I want to be this man. This movie may have made me trans. We don't know to this day. I almost have all their haircuts. So I probably watch this once a year. I love it. It is just one of the best vampire films, and it just encapsulates to me everything that's cool about like vampire mythos, but it's kind of updated in kind of an 80s zone. You know, it's sexy, it's kind of like scary, it's got some mystique, and then it's kind of got like the little kids that like trying to murder the vampires in like the old school fashioned way. It's just got such good charm. So my last film is Eraserhead. This is one of my favourite films of all time. It's good that I saved it till last. I'm just joking with you. For some reason, I don't know why I'm saying for some reason. I know why I have 3 copies of Eraserhead. It's because it's my favourite. It's my, like, autistic special interest film. Look at this. Look how stupid this is. I love it. Anyway, maybe I should do a video on it. So that was all of my DVDs, my horror DVDs. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me suggestions for films to watch, for videos to make. I really need the motivation. I'm not gonna lie, this took a lot of time and effort to be able to get here and sit down and actually film this video. Subscribe, I guess? What do people say at YouTube videos anymore? I don't fucking know. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Appreciate you loads. I think you're a stunner. Big stunner, you.